Shana Tova once again.
Shana Tova.
Happy New Year to us all. Throughout my preparations for this sacred season, certain questions kept floating across my consciousness like subliminal billboards. How do we cope? How do we survive? How do we change the world around us? How do we thrive? Questions fit for philosophers, sages, great thinkers of past and present. In other words, perfect for this season. As we enact the ancient and modern traditions of these holy days, we listen to the messages that dare us to awaken, to participate, to be accountable, to strip away the trappings of the world, to bring down our carefully raised walls and return to ourselves, return to God. It's no easy feat. It's certainly worth a try. Whether it's the wail of the shofar, the deep soul-catching melodies, or the age-old liturgical offerings, we are here to ask questions, to seek the answers of our tradition, knowing that answers are plenty, questions are plenty, and answers often scarce. When we are children, the world is in such a hurry to impart every bit of wisdom, teach every lesson, not just at school, but the lessons of life, from brushing our teeth to empathy and kindness. We are in a constant state of learning as children, receiving, filing, storing bits and pieces of the world around us within the caverns of our brain. We're even mandated to learn, though I would certainly call it a privilege. We are sponges, eager and porous. But at some point, we are pushed out of the nest, and the world doesn't owe us anything anymore. And it's up to us to continue to be curious, to continue to learn, and almost more importantly, to practice what we've been taught. Like physics. I did not do that with physics. I took a whole year of physics in high school. I even passed the test and did all the homework, but I don't know anything about physics. I didn't use it. I didn't keep learning it. There are some vague, cobwebbed notions about an object in motion and maybe something about gravity, but I'm not proud to say not much more. I practiced other things. I honed other skills, but my physics muscles have long atrophied. I imagine there are a great many things that have been lost along the way for lack of use or care. And these lost skills are easy to ignore most of the time. They've been lost for a reason, right? But when it's been a rough year, or we have suffered a loss, or when the world pushes us around a little more than usual, these are the moments when we head up to that dusty attic deep in the recesses of our brains and try to carefully pry open those rusted filing cabinets labeled Lessons of Resilience. And I have to admit, as we start this new year, I feel a bit more bruised and battered after this last one. Those questions zinging across my synapses I come by honestly. Perhaps you can relate. So I did a little digging, a little exploring to relearn some of those lessons of the past, to reinvigorate my own sense of resilience. To be clear, resilience is defined as the process of adapting well in the face of adversity or trauma or tragedy, threats or significant sources of stress. Sounds like a good thing to know how to do, right? 20 years ago, during my many years of graduate school, I read a book called The Blessing of a Skinned Knee. It was written by a wise, Reformed Jewish philosopher and psychologist, Wendy Mogul. It's all about teaching our children and cultivating their resilience. This year, 24 years after it was published, I felt compelled to take it out of my bookshelf, literally dust it off. Here's what Dr. Mogul reminded me. Accept that we are both unique and ordinary. Honor family and offer respect to others. Be self-reliant and courageous. Be grateful for all of our blessings. Understand the value of hard work. Sanctify everyday experiences. Accept rules and exercise self-control. Appreciate the preciousness of the present moment. Explore the meaning of God. As adults, we love to complicate things. But sometimes it takes a new year sitting together in community to return to the simple truths of our existence, offered to us far before we might have needed it. It's not just about knowing, about having a handy list in front of us that we print out and put on our desk, like I may or may have not done with this list. It's not just the list. It's the practice, the doing, the creating of habits that serve us, that guide us towards where we want to be and who we want to be. In other words, use it or lose it. Modern sage Jewish philosopher Martin Buber tells the tale of Rabbi Simcha Bunim Bonhart, who is known for this well-worn wisdom. Everyone must have 2 pockets with a note in each pocket so that they can reach into one or the other depending on the need. When feeling lowly and depressed, discouraged, disconsolate, one should reach into the right pocket and there find the words, "For my sake, the world was created." But when feeling high and mighty, full of ourselves a bit, one should reach into the left pocket and find the words, "I am but dust and ashes." We are both unique and ordinary. We are the main character and the extra. Finding the balance, knowing which pocket to choose is the practice, is the habit. Use it or lose it. The first century priest Elazar ben Azariah said, "Anyone whose wisdom exceeds their good deeds, to what can they be compared? To a tree whose branches are numerous, but whose roots are few. The wind will come and uproot it and turn it upside down." How we treat people around us, what we take and how we give, how we see ourselves in comparison to others, how we move through the world is not an intellectual exercise, but a continuous choice, wisdom and deed. Offering respect to those around us, choosing to go high instead of low, takes practice. It takes courage, which is not something that magically exists in some of us and not others, or just in fairy tales. We all have it in us to be courageous. After all, we are a community of courage, daring to exist for 53 years as a queer and Jewish space, the very first of its kind. The courage to be ourselves, to take up space, to be a beacon for others. It couldn't have been easy, but we kept at it, worked at it. What that courage birthed was far bigger than any of our founders. It was hope for generations to come, a sacred and joyful space for which we are all grateful. And gratitude is at the center of our tradition as Jews. We offer countless blessings and prayers every time we come together. Moda ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam shehechazarta bi nishmati b'chemla. I am grateful to you, living, enduring God, for restoring my soul to me in compassion. We have honed our gratitude, offered it to that which is greater than we are, but also to each other for the blessings we each offer. The practice, the habit is offering gratitude and grace continuously to each other and to ourselves, knowing the gifts we have and free choosing to offer them, recognizing and appreciating the blessings that fill our lives, especially in moments of darkness. This is daily work, ritualized like our morning coffee. Appreciation, acceptance, sanctity, use it or lose it. Judaism writ large is about resilience, teaches Rabbi Deborah Waxman. Across the span of Jewish history, Jews have experienced extensive trauma, even catastrophe, and we have survived. As a people, as a civilization, after catastrophe, each one prevailing paradigms were inoperable. We no longer knew how to understand ourselves in relation to God and other Jews and to other people. Yet throughout our history, Jews have ultimately transcended catastrophe after catastrophe. We have repeatedly breathed new life into the Jewish people and the Jewish civilization, and we have found pathways towards repair. From trauma, we have had to heal. We have had to recover and revision, regenerate and reseed vital Jewish life. We have found ways to cultivate resilience, both individually and collectively. Strengthening our own resilience muscles need not happen all on our own in a vacuum, for we are always stronger and more capable when we rely on those around us. So welcome to the BCC Gym, the place for spiritual reps, communal strengthening of our core values, where someone is always ready and willing to spot you and share the weight. Even during this season of intense personal reflection and transformation, we are not required or even asked to do it alone. We come together, sit next to one another, and move through these holy days in community. And when things seem bleak, when we feel weak or damaged, let this community, this spiritual center, this gratitude complex, this chosen family, be the antidote, the salve, the everlasting companion. A new year, 5786, is laid out before us, an opportunity not to be wasted, to continue to get to know ourselves and rediscover the tools we were taught throughout our lives. Let's spend these days of awe together practicing our resilience, tending to our community, reframing how we see the future ahead of us. One of my favorite 20th century sages, Rav Kook, taught, when the anguish, which is the pain of penitence, brought about by the person's own spiritual state and that of the whole world, becomes very great, to a point of blocking the creative sources of thought, speech, prayer, outcries, feeling, and song, then one must rise in a leap to seek life-giving light in the source of silence. Let us leap into that life-giving light, for it lives within us all. You felt it there before. Feel it now again. It begins with a simple acknowledgement, knowing it's there. And then we can practice leaping toward it every day, tending to it, creating habits to build and bolster, strengthening ourselves to be the best versions, to rise to every occasion, to be able to lift others around us, to care about the things that matter. Because I don't want to just cope or survive. I want to thrive. I don't want to thrive alone. I want to thrive with all of you, our beloved community. And I want this city to thrive and our country to thrive. And I want every person in every small town or village or massive city across the globe to thrive. So we can dream and realize the abundance ahead, a future of more and not less, of growth and opportunity, of purpose and strength, of joy and light, guided by those tools practiced and habits formed, the lessons of our lifetimes. Now, I have to warn you, if you were looking for easy street, this is not it. But I think you know that already. Being here in community, living in the world, isn't meant to be easy. Not easy, but meaningful, Not easy, but important. Not easy, but worthwhile. Rarely are there great worth in the things that come easy. As we celebrate this birthday of our world, the season of renewal, I am grateful for all of you, for the opportunities we have to practice our faith, practice our kindness, practice our empathy and compassion, practice our well-earned resilience together. I leave you with the wisdom of our great sage in Pirkei Avot. Do not seek greatness for yourself, and do not covet honor. Practice more than you learn. Shana Tova Metuka, a happy and sweet new year ahead for us all.